Hey guys, so previously I explained the one of the restaurants that I worked in, the buffet restaurant, Oasis. I thought I was gonna move earlier, but I ended up staying there for about 2 months and a week, something like that. It was really frustrating for me because it was the same thing over and over and over and over again. But nevertheless, I made the best of it. And I did have fun working with most of the people there, got to know them better. I also said that previously they don't really communicate very well, and they started working on it. And once everyone felt more comfortable with the trainees, it was better because sometimes the extras or staff didn't really want to work with the trainees because of previous experiences with the trainees, because they've said that apparently trainees don't really want to work and they're spoiled and all that. But then a lot of people told us that we're a different group, we're good and we're hardworking and everything. But moving on, I'll get back to the rest of the internship, but to reflect on the objectives. My objective was firstly to better my skills with alcoholic beverages, so serving guests properly, professionally. I probably did better my knowledge with the alcoholic beverage that we served, and I sometimes made with the cocktails and everything in bar. Yeah, so I definitely did reach my objective with my alcoholic beverage knowledge. My second objective was to learn and improve bar skills, and I did really improve on my bar skills, as we'd have to make gin and tonic or pineapple mojito or pineapple mango mojito, sorry. And it was really fascinating for me because people took the time to teach you the small details of a gin and tonic and how to make it professionally, and whether there was pressure or not, like they would still help and they would teach you, and it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. Bar was definitely one of my most favorite. Yeah. The other one was to learn banqueting skills. For example, like with the table settings, the decorations, and the serving. Banqueting was really fantastic for me because I stayed there longer than I expected, and I was happy about that because it wasn't my last department. They ended up moving me there. It was my fourth department after room service, and banqueting was a lot of fun because I got to work with so many different people, with so many extras, and sometimes it was just myself and another trainee, and then we would have to set up for a coffee break for about 80 people, or sometimes 120 people, or 10 people. That was probably the most boring, but it was really cool. And I remember I worked with Jenny Chin as well. We would get there in the morning and we would set up, we would look what we need to do for that day and what's coming up for the rest of the week, and what tasks we do, or which coffee breaks we get, or for what conference do we have to set up. Or it was really fascinating, and it was good because of the teamwork and the communication that occurred, because previously people wouldn't always talk to us, or we wouldn't really talk to each other that often, but it came to that point where you didn't really have a choice, and it was just better that way because you got to know each other and you ended up enjoying working with one another, and it was a really good experience. And I think I enjoyed it even more because I've always found it interesting. So yeah. What? Oh yeah, with one of while I was in banqueting, we had two conferences. Yeah, huge conferences. One was with a car. It was a car show. Yeah, there were two car shows. Sorry, the one they showed hybrids. It was a VW hybrid, and I think it was a Renault. I'm not too sure. The other one was a Peugeot, and they actually it's so amazing. What happens is they bring the cars in from the basement, from the parking, and then there's this huge door where the cars can actually fit into, and then they drive through the gallery floor, and then they get displayed. So if they don't, some cars stand on the gallery floor, and some would stand in it's this room where it separates into room 1, like conference room 1 and conference room 2. But what happened was they opened the entire wall, so the entire room 1 and 2 was completely empty, and then the car got driven in, and it was put on display on the stage. It was really amazing. Unfortunately, I couldn't take any pictures, but I'll try and explain what I can. And then we had to set up tables and chairs, and mostly the guys brought in the chairs, but we could do it too. But yeah, in any case, so we set up, and on each table there would be 2 bottles of still water, and depending on how many seats there were, there are so many glasses, and mints and pens and A4 sheets. So I mean, it's a conference, so yeah. And then once they go for lunch break, we clear all the dirty glasses, and if the water is less than half, we replace the water, and then we replace the give them new glasses, clean glasses, and if they need, and definitely refill the mints if they've been eating them. Also, if there's no paper, all of that, or pens are missing, you still give them a pen whether they have it or not. And then once we've done that, we have to go back and we have to put all the glasses in dishwash. So then we would actually do the process ourselves. We would put all the glasses, or like saucers or whatever, depending what event it was or which conference it was, or whether it was a coffee break. Then we would wash everything, and then we would polish. And well, after we finish polishing, then we just we put the racks ready for when we need to replace anything again. And then once that's done, then there's a coffee break again for these exact people, and then we have to make sure that everything has been set up for the table. So what happens is we finish setting up the tables, we leave them out there, and then we just bring in the leftover coffee or hot water or whatever, and then we keep it heated so that it doesn't go off or just anything like that. The milk, if it's cold, we put it back in the refrigerator. If it's warm, we keep it on top of the coffee machine, because it keeps it very hot, so it won't go bad. And then we'll reheat the milk, and when we need to set up again, and we bring out the coffee and the water, and we set up, we make sure we fill the teas and sugars. And once we finish setting up the table for the coffee break, and it's about 20 minutes before, we go down to the kitchen, and no, up, sorry, that was on ground level, sorry. We go up and we go to the kitchen, and pastry. With kitchen we get dumplings. They were actually not dumplings, but they called them that. They were samosas, spring rolls, like fried food, finger food. And then we got the cookies and the pastries, and it was really amazing. And then sorry, then we we would set up, and the guests would arrive and they would have a coffee break, and most of the time they were Portuguese guests, so then we would brush for our Portuguese. So if they said cafe or cafe frio, so it's coffee with milk or chá, tea. So, and then there were fruits as well, and then it was a lot of fun. Definitely banqueting was definitely my favorite, but I can't continuously speak about banqueting. Room service. Oh, sorry, different. I still needed to add with banqueting. It was interesting for me because I actually saw how you need to set up the table for a banquet, and it was just a great experience because I really learned so much. And no one was afraid to tell you something, or no one would look at you funny if you asked questions. So it was a good thing to ask. I mean, if you don't know, then you should ask. So then I had room service as well, and room service was actually before banqueting. It was right after Oasis, the buffet restaurant. With room service, I was there for about 3 weeks. I found it a little boring, but it was still interesting to learn. And I mean, it might not be boring for somebody else, but it was for me. I didn't like minibar that much. I found it very tiring, boring and tiring. I preferred doing the VIPs. So what would happen is I would go to the different floors and to the rooms where the VIPs would stay, and it was VIP 1 was water, just a 2-liter bottle of still water with glasses, of course, and depending on the people in the room, number of people in the room. And then VIP 2 was also water, but with pastries, and the pastries would vary with what type of VIP it was. And then there was a VIP 3, and then they would get this little Portuguese dessert. It's pastry. It's like a custardy type of thing, but it's baked. Really delicious. But can't remember the name. How to pronounce it? Sorry. Then there were other type of VIPs, but then the other one was it was cool. There was a birthday VIP. So then what would happen is they would get sparkling wine and a really cute cake, and it would get delivered and with candles and everything, and it was a surprise, and it was fascinating. And sometimes with other VIPs they would get a port wine, pastries. The minibar was interesting as well. The refilling and everything, and checking whether people have actually used the minibar, and then if they had used it, we would write it down and it would be charged to the room. But it was a good experience. It was a really good internship. I really enjoyed it, and with my objectives, what I'd probably do differently would be I would probably set higher expectations or higher goals, because I know now that I can try my best, and I mean, if I don't do it, what I say, if I don't do what I said I would, I can always try and better it with something else. But I think that's all. But banqueting and bar was my favorite. Fine dining, right, forgot about that, sorry. With fine dining, I wasn't there for that long. I was there for a week, which was a little annoying because they didn't organize it properly. But I learned what I needed to learn. Being professional, setting up, polishing, teamwork, communication. It was fun. Portugal was great because Cascais Mirage is really an awesome hotel, and they really take care of the staff, whether you're training or not. It was fantastic. Objectives, I think it was okay. I should probably set higher ones next time. Performance as well. Guests praised me, and I was motivated. Internship,